In this here.
Tags are in. Kettlebells are going up. Good afternoon. Welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Ian.
I'm Lauren.
And this is the bar class. It's week 6 of the bar class, which means it's that gently approached ultimate challenge, including 5 kettlebell presses times 5 sets. More bells to come with Lauren and the foot warm up to start. So grab your bell, let's get a grip and mobilize hips with our pliés and practice some strength with our bell.
So with your bell off to the side for now, we'll touch that in a second, but we'll start at the toes, ankles. Let's gently bend a foot. Try to keep those balls of the toes down, balls of the foot and the toes down as we get the knee forward and the ankle forward. Then we'll do our double press up and just gently land on a nice straight knee with an extended hip or a butt squeeze. Press up, squeeze them, control the down, keep them squeezed. When in doubt, squeeze your cheeks. That's like a life lesson right there too. And then up, then we'll go a little pointy point of the toes, light flex around over the toes, come back to the ball of the foot, up and down on the other side. Point toes, flex round over, go back over, up one more time each side for 2 total. That extended back hip, that light roll over the toes, the little balance at the top. Have a balance aid at your side as you need it. We'll go up. This time we'll land on a flat foot and then we'll absorb the landing, bending the knee. Hips are lightly reaching to the back wall. Then extend the hips, double up, control the down. Little bit of a tailbone tilt or a pelvis tilt as you sit back into that and press up. But we still have abs this whole time. So we're not arching that low back, but just making room for that femur. One more time over here. Controlled on that. Now let's peel and push that other heel down and then extend the hips through. We'll come up to a double rise. I want you to try to get as low as you can here in your squat with your heels staying high off the floor. How low can you go? But then you have to be able to get out of that. So push down into the floor and slowly rise back up and hold. This time we'll descend again, keeping those heels up. And we'll continue, and we'll land softly on our knees, extend our hips, point our toes at the back, and let's just sit on those pointed feet, and then extend through to tally tall. Next, we'll warm up our plank, because that's where the tension we need for our presses. Hands placed down on the floor, gripping with your fingertips, screwing your elbow pits in, and lifting up into our first plank here. Let's just talk it through. Shoulders are pulled down out of our ears. Hips are slightly tucked under so those ribs are connected. You're breathing, you're squeezing, and without moving, so isometrically, you're pulling the floor together underneath you. Breathe, hold, squeeze tighter, then knees down. Whew, take a second off. We'll do one more of those on our way up. But until then, let's work on those splits.
And let's just start on our elbow here in these split variations today. Gently slump a shoulder, but then like that get up skill with that kettlebell, press the elbow into the ground, supporting the shoulder. Then reach that rib cage away from the floor in our version of our side plank as well. Now place attention on that front leg and we'll have that dorsiflexed ankle or yoga foot there. And then with the knee in place, casually extend the knee. Then get to that ballet point, that plantar flexion, and you might be able to straighten the knee a little bit more, and then do your karate ankle shape, and then very gently bend the knee back towards 90 degrees, knee bend. Repeat again, proud shoulder, nice side plank here, and extend on the knee to your safe degrees of extension, and then point the foot. You might be able to get a little bit more, and then very cautiously approach that karate foot on account of that calf. And then from this position, let's just push ourselves up nice and tall, make ourselves nice and wide, and with hands or without, we'll just switch around and do the same thing on the other side. So this modified 90-90 shape here, and we're pushing the elbow heavily in the floor and engaging those side obliques for a nice support. Squeeze the back butt cheek, dorsiflexion ankle, knee stays in the same place, and we slowly extend towards a straight leg, and then point the foot and ask permission to straighten it just a little bit more.
Can I straighten you?
And then, yeah, with your words or with your actions, and then return it back down towards a 90-degree knee bend. Pack the shoulder, emphasize that safe upper body as well, and then a nice slow knee extension or straightening the knee. Then our point feet, straighten the knee a little bit more. Then we'll do the karate ankle, yoga foot, dorsiflex, so many names, but the other shape there. And then just push through Sit nice and tall. You might have one side that's harder than the other, and that's okay. We'll work both, and until we do,
let's get back to that plank and then get up to standing and hold that kettlebell before our 5 rounds of 5 presses. So from that plank position, we're up, gripped, tucked under. This time, let's pull the floor together, but pull without moving your right hand to your left hip. And pull your left hand to your right hip. And then pull both at the same time. And feel X pattern of tension, breathing and bracing for 5, 4, tighter, 3, 2, push the floor forward, lifting the hips. Let's try to staple our hands to the floor and walk our feet to our hands, keeping our knees as straight as possible. And then once we get there, we'll press the floor away, tuck our chin, and stack ourselves up using our core muscles on the front and the back of the spine. Whew. Head is last to land.
And we're up to the bells. Those grip hold techniques here, again, when I pick this bell up first, Lauren, it's gonna feel so heavy, but I'm gonna tell myself I can do it. So can you.
And it's not gonna get any lighter, but with some time underneath it, it might feel a little better. So let's first hold, I feel really far away. Let's first hold in that rack position. And that's actually the only hold position we'll hold in. So let's get there. Hip hinge, grip bell, pull to rack, hold. This is the position we press out of. When we press, you're in a standing plank, so think of the same cues we just did. Push down into the floor, squeeze your cheeks, pull your kneecaps up, light tap or ribs to hips, vertical forearm, pretend to press it for 3, 2, 2 hands on, use your hinge, park, up without. Same thing second side. Grip, cuddle, pull, rack. Elbows in, vertical forearm, push down and out. Squeeze the cheeks, brace the abs. You need a strong foundation to press off, so create it here for 5, 4. Pretend to press. 2 hands on, park kettlebell, place it down. Shake it out. Next time we get to that bell, we'll be pressing it 4, 5.
Times 5.
Not 4, 5. 4.
4, 5. And until we do that, let's get to our bar scene right over here. We'll start with those feet in our parallel position, toes pointing forward, and with a straight leg, never bend this knee for this first drill here, take the point to the front. Then from there, we'll do that dorsiflex ankle or foot to shin, and do an external rotation in the hip, meaning the kneecap goes away from the midline, from the hip, and then the internal rotation, femur, kneecap rolls in. Repeat again, a turn out, a turn in, and finish with one more turn out. And then point the foot. It might connect to the floor again. Then take that same leg and reach it to the side. Keep the shoulders and the hips forward. We're in a turned out position with that femur on the hip. And now do your foot shape, foot to shin. Then on the hip with a straight knee, do our turn in, hiding that inseam to the ground. And then our turn out, showing that inseam forward. We'll repeat a turn in, one more turn out, finish with one more turned in repetition, and point the foot. And now bring that leg underneath the hip by getting so tall underneath. Let's use that leg one more time, but this time reach to the back. We'll draw a half circle as that outside leg reaches to the back, and like a key in a lock, open from the back to the side to the front. And as that leg comes back underneath the hip, project the hips forward into that extension shape. Let's hold a quick balance here then. So pull up that outside leg, that gesturing leg, and hold at that ankle nook or that coup de pied position. Test yourself with a hand on the bar or without, and then get the toes to touch and extend the hips through, cramping those glutes, squeezing those cheeks. We'll do the same thing now on the other side. So as we switch, shake it out in between, light tension with a hand on the bar, and point to the midline forward. Then we'll do our karate ankle. Then the turned out hip rather. Foot goes out there too, but drive that from the hip. Then do our turn in, keeping the standing hip facing forward. We'll do one more out and in series, and then finish with one more out, and then the point of the foot. Bring the leg to the side. If you look down, should be a straight line from the tip of the big toe, your standing leg, out. Then do our ankle shape change. Then we'll turn in on the hip. Another turn out on the hip. Repeat an in, one more time out, finish one more time in, and point, and tall as we pull underneath. The last thing, till we press, it's that same leg to the back with a straight leg, then turn out of the hip as we reach from the back to the side to the front. It's the hip extension forward to bring the leg underneath, and then pull up that nice first balance here, squeezing your standing leg, hugging to the midline, breathing, and then toes touch and extend the hips on top, own it, and then wiggle it.
All right, it's set number 1 of 5. We have worked for the past 5 weeks, adding reps each week, staggering, doing a little ladder, little pyramid work to get us to 5 by 5. If you're still not feeling like you're ready for 5 by 5, pick a number that's less than 5, but try to do that number consistently over 5 sets. We will start with our non-dominant hand. First side, pick it up. Inhale to rack. 1, 2. Things we've been working on over the past 5 weeks are matching that breath, keeping that core tension. That was 5, right?
That's 5.
And perking that bell. So incorporate all those techniques, including counting, as you do this next set. Second side, rack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Park that bell. Shake it out. Ooh, sometimes I find set number 1 a little bit harder. And hopefully they get a little stronger as we go.
So heavy presses for full body strength and light mobility exercises for those supple qualities of the hips. Lauren warmed us up quite nicely with those hips already in their pliés. So let's challenge that again by opening up to that first position. And with a hand on the bar, pull ourselves down to that first squat. And then we'll do that tendu or leg straight out to the front. Stand tall on your standing leg and bring the leg back underneath to that first position. Repeating to the side. So knees over toes, weight transfer, pause, stretch that standing leg, and then pull heels back together. To the back, knee bends, reach out the back, stand tall on the standing leg, and heels forward. And one more time to the side as you go knee bend, out to the side, a full stretch, pull in, and this time challenge that ankle balance with the knee pointing to the side. And little bonus, perhaps with your eyes forward, looking for our nice demi-point or releve balance there. Control the down, finish back to first, and then shake it out. We have 2 hips, 2 sides, so it's that same exercise, other side. First, we squatted, then we gestured that leg front, stood tall in the standing leg, and returned to first. It's a squat plie again. Reach out to the side with a toe point, full stretch, and pull in. To the back, squat first and reach, full stretch of the standing leg, heel forward underneath the hips, and to the side, we stretch, we stand tall, pull in, and then continue to pull up. The toes point down, the knee points to the side, the ribs are over those hips, and if all those things line up, it might help you get towards that demi-point or releve balance. Hold for some time, control the down, like it's easy, shake it, and get ready for some nice high tension again with those presses.
With fire burning in your hips, let's press this bell overhead. Second set, 5 or your number. Dominant hand first this time. Hip hinge, grip to rack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. Good, shake it out. Just to buy us a couple seconds before we do that second side, let's really quickly list things you're thinking about. Rooting your feet, squeezing your cheeks. This was an I-Go-You-Go
Bracing
game.
your core and pulling down your armpits.
Making tension in your offhand.
Biomechanical breathing match. Fancy way of saying breathe in on the kettlebell down and exhale on the up.
All right, that was enough time. Second arm. Pull to rack. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoa. One little tidbit I will sneak in there before we get to that bar. If you do need to take a little second extra pause, don't pause in the rack position. Pause with that bell locked out overhead. Give yourself a second and then pull it down. It's going to be easier than taking your breath in your rack position.
We need that elastic energy, so let's keep those hips and feet nice and elastic in this move as well. We'll return to that first position plie. We'll do the same squat. We'll reach your leg forward, but this time we'll land toe ball heel and transfer weight to the front leg and then return the other leg to that ankle balance. Then reach out the back, land toe ball heel, push forward, return to that same ankle balance, and then return to the first position. Out to the side. So we plie, we reach, we push ourselves over, challenging that balance on the ankle, and then point, return to that ankle position, and then back to that first plie, where we squat. We reach out the back. We push forward to bring that leg underneath, and then point forward, trail the leg underneath as well, and return to the first position. Out to the side one last time, squat, point, weight transfer, again weight transfer, and this time, stay at that ankle if that's for you, or return to that nice passe position. At the knee, the toes point down, the knees point side, and the tailbone is reaching to the floor. The leg lifts high, but the hip stays low. Return down, finish tall, shake it, wiggle it, moonwalk it if I had better feet or shoes on me. And now here we are, back on the other side. So it was a plie or a squat, reach to the front, and then arrive at that inside ankle position. Then reach back, push forward, also arrive knee side and down. Squat to the side, squeeze that standing leg butt cheek, and push one way to go the other, and back to that first position. And a sit squat, a reach back, point forward, knee side, reach forward, also knee side to first, and the last one of the set, out to the side, cramp, pushing towards Lauren to move to my bar, and then stay at the ankle or challenge yourself at the knee. And again, the hip stays low, squeezing those glutes. The femur or that leg is lifting high. Return to your first position. Take a breath, hit reset, and now press.
Set number 3. This will get us to the peak of the hill, the top of the pyramid.
My favorite set.
Here we
right
go.
here.
We're starting with our non-dominant side again, as we've been alternating. Hip hinge, inhale to rack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, great. Always placing that bell down with control, shaking it out, taking a little breath.
And doing it again.
Focusing, thinking about those good strong reps, and same thing on the other side. Hip hinge to rack. 1, 2, 3. And park. Whew, great job. Set number 3, check, check.
I love that set 3. It's just getting up and over that hill. And we'll shake out those arms and come back to the bar, challenge the legs. We're working on that fondue exercise here, where the knees will bend together and straighten together, following that same pattern of front, side, back, and side. We'll do it twice with a little bit of a different version on the second set. So copy Lauren's shape there where the knees bend together, and then stretch just off the floor. Then the knees bend together, and they stretch out to the side. It's that back ankle coup de pied shape, and we stretch out the back as well. And then one more time to the side. Hold that leg there, find your ball of foot, and then come down together, and then rise on that ball of foot again. And then down together, and then out to the side. The back ankle coup de pied, we'll stretch that as well. Back ankle one last time, and out to the side. Now stay on that releve or that balls of feet down there. Hold your passe position. I do need to look a little bit more straight ahead to hold that now. And breathe. A little tap on the bar is helpful. And then come back down to that first position. So that first round, flat feet. Second round, demi points are on the balls of those toes. Let's do it again. The knee bends together. The knees stiffen or straighten together. Pull those knees apart, creating a diamond, and point those toes. It's to the back. They stretch together. They bend together, and return it to the side. Find that ball of foot, and then come down, absorbing the landing and stretching tall. Absorb that landing, finish long and tall. It's one last time to the back, straighten that knee, and then one more time to the side with a full stretch. Lift the knee higher, find that passe position, drill that leg into the floor, hold, breathe under your core, hold a little longer, and then return down with control.
Here we
Try to
go.
make those sets longer, so this gives us more rest, but
We're on set number
already
4
here.
here with our presses. And we're back to that dominant arm first. So give those hips a little shake. Shake out the legs because you're going to need their power. And here we go. First arm into the rack position. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. 5. Park it. Shake it out. Whew.
And again, for the series of questions that we never get asked on Twitter, I've been using that same 28 kilogram kettlebell for the past 5 weeks, and Lauren's been using that 18. What are you using? Let us know. Write a comment, visit our store, buy a bell, but the shipping will kill you, so find something a little bit more local.
Unless we can bike it to you.
Yeah, we've done that.
Biking radius only.
We have done that.
Same thing, second side. Also, it's great to know your weight, but don't worry about the weight. The consistency is more important. So here we go on that second side. Up to the rack. Up to press. Up to press. Up to press. One more. Oh, yeah. Great job. Also, our biking radius is about 100 kilometers, unless your kettlebell weighs more than 8 kgs.
Ooh, I was going to say our biking radius is less than 10 kilometers, no matter how heavy it is. But if you order it, I promise we'll get you one.
Well,
Yeah, maybe I should be careful what we promise here.
take that back.
Okay, well, we're going to go back to that first position here, and this time a nice bent leg version of our rond de jambe. So take the leg up, we're going to start in that parallel position. So return those feet to the parallel position. Then pull up to that knee or passive position where we've been before. Then open the leg to the side. We'll turn in on that hip as to hide the inseam, and then pull the leg back so the legs are parallel across the front. Now with the smallest tuck of the hips under like the cat, push the hip to the back, extending. Then the knee will end up going to the side with the foot coming under. Turn in one more time on that hip to finish that series and pull under the hip to repeat. It's to the front in that hip flexion. It opens to the side next. Turn in on the hip, keeping those hips nice and level, then adduct or bring it back to the midline. Then from here, we'll extend to the back. Then the foot goes under the hip, the knee goes wide, then bring the foot out one more time, internally rotating on that hip, and then pull together. And for one last bonus, let's lift that leg out front and hold a nice attitude shape in the front. Breathing, knee is slightly bent, foot is in line with our core.
Other leg is straight.
Then pull to a passe position, and with or without that arm and that arabesque, let's hold that reverse or attitude position out the back. Then pull to passe and finish nice and tall. I was pretty warm before that set, but now I appear to be dripping. So let's do it again, grooving those shapes on the hips. We're allowing that turn in, even though it might not be present so much in the ballet. Give yourself room to turn in on those hips. We're pulling up to the front, open to the side with the hips forward. Then we'll turn in on the hip, safely cramping, and then pull the knee together. Reaching out the back, it's that hip extension. Cramp the glutes. Then point the toes as the knee goes wide. Then take the foot away from the midline, out to the side again, and then pull in so the legs are parallel. Repeating one more time, it's to the front, hip flexion. Then open to the side, cramp that standing leg, turn in on the hip, pull the knee together, and then from here, reach out the back, open the knee to the side. The last move is that last internal rotation on the hip, and then pull the knee together again, but then up through the front, attitude position out front. The toes are pointing energy in line with your sternum and your belly button. The knee is slightly bent. And then through that passe position and challenge that one last time out the back. Try to get that turnout, point the leg out the rear a little bit longer, and then return to that passe and back down to parallel. We've done 4 sets of presses, correct me if I'm wrong. So this is our last set.
All right, so our last set here, finishing nice and strong. And as we started on set number 1 of those odd sets, we'll start with that non-dominant hand. Whatever number you've picked over the past 4 sets, let's hit it one last time. Here we go. Inhale to pull to rack, and up, 1, pull down, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Sometimes those last reps might be a little bit of a grind, but keep trying to drive to that pinky side. Keep trying to straighten those elbows using the tricep. Keep driving down with those legs. Last time, last set. Here we go. 5-ish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and park. Whew. Wow, great job.
Looks like we made it.
5. Over the past 6 weeks, we've been working for that consistency over 5 sets, and you just did it. And if you didn't, you did something really close to it, and we can't tell, so you were here anyway.
It's for you. But for you and for us, we have one more series of moves to finish. We'll clear our space, inviting you to do the same. And then like in a ballet practice, getting to work in that center position, putting all those skills together. So we'll start in that slight turned out position in the first, then we'll bend our knees, and then stand up tall. We'll actually move to that side or second position. Now from here, let's pull ourselves over one leg, so one leg bent and one leg straight, and then here, lift the leg, but maintain the hips level. Then point the toe. Grab the floor, pull ourselves, and finish with a push that could lift that leg up again. The knee is straight, the hip is turned out, and the toes are pointed. Land toe ball heel. Pull ourselves across. Finish with a toe point, then this time we'll stretch that standing leg. We'll bend that standing leg, feel the pull, complement it with that push, and then finish with a leg lift and a stretch of the standing leg again. We bend that standing leg with control, grabbing the ground, we pull and finish push, and then tall, and then in open space, can we hold that releve or that demi-point rise with that high leg to the side, land a full straight knee, full foot, bend the knee, pull, push, finish with the toes, stretch that standing leg, and the last movement of this week 6 of 6 kettlebell experience with some bar ballet will land. We'll blend to that knee bend, pull ourselves to the center, and push ourselves tall. Awesome.
Oh, well, thanks for joining us over these last 6 weeks. Hopefully you've gained some strength and hip mobility, as well as some overhead strength and hip shoulder mobility.
You got it.
Ball and socket, they go hand in hand.
They do. And we're going to take a week off next week, and we invite you to either revisit one of your favorite episodes in replay or enjoy some seasonal activities like a walk, a bike, a hike, a trike, anything that keeps you active, and looking forward to joining us in 2 weeks' time. We'll be back with semester 4 that takes us all the way through the month of July. And we look forward to sharing more with you, whether it's here, live on Saturday, which is our last class for our Play with Your Strength weekend workout extravaganza. And there's other ways to get in contact with us. Lauren, how are those?
Check out our YouTube, which you're on right now, so you might as well like, subscribe, and tell all your friends, as well as check out our Patreon page. We also have a website if you're interested in more services we do in person. But until then, Or until next time, take care
Stay strong.
and let's train soon.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Sure.